Howdy, homesteaders and preparedness people. Kelly here with Kelly's Prepping Kitchen. It's been a long time since I've talked to y'all. I've got some new subscribers, so I want to update y'all on the direction of my channel, as well as tell you how I got started. I'm also going to talk to you about a new challenge that I'm going to be participating in. So grab that coffee and let's go. Hey everybody. My name is Kelly. Welcome to Kelly's Prepping Kitchen. I am going to be participating in a challenge put on by Jessica with Three Rivers Homestead. I've been watching her since before I created my channel here on YouTube, and she's literally homesteading goals. And she does this challenge every year in the months of January and February, where she does not purchase any groceries from the store. And she started this challenge because she didn't want to get her kids out during flu season and expose them to the element when it was cold, and to recover financially from spending all the money that we spend over the holidays, give our wallets a break, and use up what we have before the new harvest season begins. I've been watching this challenge from afar for a while. I know that sounds kind of creepy. I've been reluctant to participate in it myself. It's great because there's no real strict rules. Obviously, they want you to adhere to the concept of the challenge as much as possible, but you get to make your own rules, whatever works for you. Since we have pretty much all we need on hand, I think we could make it through January and February, but we actually have 4 birthdays in our family during that time. So you are allowed to give yourself a day off or whatever to go out and eat and celebrate a birthday. You have some kind of an emergency and you need to go get something from the store that you forgot about, that you ran out of. You get to make your own rules. The collaboration is open to everybody. My fear was I'm going to put up something and I'm going to get ridiculed talking about all the processed food and all the convenience food I have in my pantry and in my freezers. But the truth of the matter is, we're all trying to feed our family the best way we know how. Some of us work, some of us have financial limitations. Not all of us live on a farm. Not all of us harvest our own crops or our own meat. So we do what we can, and I was just so thankful to hear that she opened this challenge. Everybody, from beginners to the most experienced homesteader who's been doing it their whole life. A little bit about me, because there has been an uptick of subscribers on my channel, which I am just so grateful for. It's been a minute since I talked about myself or my channel, who I am, how I got here. Back in the day on Facebook in particular, or Instagram, I was a big couponer. So I would always show my haul from the store and say, look what all I got for under $20. And people were always asking questions. And whenever I would share a recipe, people would be sharing it all over the place. So I just got to thinking, why don't I create a channel where I could just put it all out there, and maybe it can be of help to someone. And I'm on YouTube anyway, watching other people's videos. Why don't I put some of my stuff out there too? So that's how I began. I also have 2 adult daughters who live at home, and they are both vegetarians. So if you do watch my videos and you see me making a pantry meal, I will often be referring to making something separate and for my daughters. So you'll probably get sick of hearing me say, my daughters are vegetarians, but I never know when somebody new is watching and if they're confused on why I'm doing a variation of the same thing when I make dinner. If you stick around for my channel, God bless you, because it is most definitely the Hot Mess Express. But I have a lot of fun. I'm socially awkward and I embrace it. Something new that I started this year with my videos, instead of always doing voiceovers of music in my videos, I have started incorporating my Bible study message. I started reading the Bible from beginning to end in 2020 during the pandemic with my husband. We started in Genesis. We are now in Hebrews 12. And we didn't do it every day. We study along with Pastor Paul. He is at Calvary Chapel in Ontario. That is not Ontario, Canada, but on the border of Idaho and Oregon. Unlike a lot of pastors in churches where they just copy and paste whatever scripture they want to match whatever narrative they're trying to push, I like a good Bible-based church, and unfortunately there's not one in my area. So we've really enjoyed watching Pastor Paul go through his Bible study online, and I've been sharing my Bible study message for a couple of years that I know of on my Facebook page. And then since I joined YouTube, on my community page, I always do my Bible study message there, but I don't know how many people see that, so I'm going to start incorporating my Bible study messages into my videos somehow, usually in the way of a voiceover. So if you just all of a sudden start hearing me dropping quotes from the Bible during one of my Pantry videos, you'll know why. My study in college was sign language interpreting, and I did that for a while. I did that for about 10 years, and I really enjoyed it, but I do that more for a hobby now. I also enjoy volunteering at different organizations in my community. I work for a hospice group and visit sick loved ones when family can't be around, just so the patients won't be alone. I also do some volunteering with homeless pet shelters in my area, and for a domestic violence organization that helps get people out of dangerous situations. I help them and their pets flee from domestic violence and drive them wherever they need to go, whether it be to a family member's house or to a shelter nearby. I'm a concierge in my community, so what that means is I do things for my neighbors, such as run errands for them, pick up groceries, take their kids to school or to soccer practice. I take senior citizens in my community who don't drive anymore to work, or I go sit with them at home, help them take their medication, make them dinner. I do light housekeeping for people who are recovering from surgery, who aren't supposed to be up and moving around much. I take people to the Houston Rodeo when they want a night out on the town to drink. I take them to concerts. I do a lot of airport shuttling. You name it, whatever it is, believe me, I've done it, and I enjoy it. I have a very sporadic schedule. There'll be a week where I don't have much going on, and then there'll be a week where I have just a lot going on. So it is nice to have a pantry where my family doesn't have to rely on me. Anybody can just walk in and get what they want to eat. It's like our own little grocery store. So that's a little bit about me. My husband is a few years away from retirement. We are planning on going to live on an RV full time, at least temporarily, maybe for a year or two, and traveling around the country. We have an RV now that we take out on the weekends. We also got a freeze dryer about a year ago to help us with our weight, not our physical weight, but the weight on a camper. if we go camping long term, obviously when you freeze dry, you're removing a lot of the water weight, and that will enable us to put more food on an RV. I don't think we'll be able to take the freeze dryer on the RV with us, but we will put that in storage. But my point is that in a year's time, we've been able to freeze dry a lot of food, and we test the food out to make sure that it turned out well. We talk about our likes, dislikes. We show our failures. We're not one of those channels that just makes everything look like it goes perfect all the time. I mean, you'll see us flop sometimes. I just recently uploaded a video where I show us organizing the food that we've freeze-dried over the past year. And it was surprising to me how much of it there was, because once we freeze dry, we put it in the Mylar bags, and then we toss it in the bins. And we haven't even been proactively doing that on a regular basis. Just anytime we have leftovers, or we made a big batch of something, we doubled a batch, and we made We freeze dried it, and before you knew it, in a year's time, got quite the nice stockpile of freeze dried food. I'll upload that video in the description box below. I have another channel called Wandering Willbillies. So I post all my camping gear and hiking and outdoor videos over there. Since I upload it to that one channel anyway, I go ahead and upload it to my prepping channel as well. So if you ever come across a camping video, you'll know that's why it's there. I do a little bit of everything. I do a lot of preparedness content. I have been putting food away since before 2020. Like I said, I used to be into couponing, and then 2020 rolled around, and then things just started getting really crazy in the world with shortages and strikes. And so I've just been slowly putting stuff away for a while. My situation is unique because we're at a place where we're content with what we have, and obviously we'll need to go to the store and replenish from time to time. Our goal is we are actually trying to downsize our pantry so we can go live full-time in an RV in a couple of years. So my goal is to plan to use a lot of what we already have on hand. And I've been doing that for a while anyway. So when I heard about this challenge and that it was open to everybody, not just people that make things from scratch, I was like, sign me up, because I'm doing the things anyway. We've got 3 freezers that we work out of, and we try to rotate using food from there as well as things in our pantry. And of course we buy fresh produce from time to time. We do have a little garden in our yard. Obviously it's in the middle of winter, but here in Texas, not everything we plant makes it. I'm sure that's the case everywhere, but let's just say we can't rely on living full time off of our garden. We've got a couple of fruit trees. Sometimes they produce, sometimes they do not. But the point is, I understand a lot of this is processed foods. Once I wean my way out of all the food we have and we dwindle it down, I would like to start eating healthier, making more conscious decisions with the ingredients that we use. I know that bioengineered ingredients is a huge concern to a lot of people, and I would like to eat cleaner and feed my family cleaner, but not everybody has access or the funds to eat a specific way. My husband does most of the canning. He grew up a rancher, so he's been canning his whole life. I do a lot of preparedness content, not just with food and water filtration, but outdoor cooking equipment if the grid went down. I'm actually in the middle of doing a pantry overhaul. This video right here is going to be part 5 of my pantry organization video. I'm going to take y'all along. I'll be sure to link part 1 through 4 of my pantry organization videos below. Just want to make sure to thank Jessica as well as all the participants in this challenge. I know that there are a ton of people participating, and if you come across my video, congratulations, you've probably reached the end of the YouTube. Hello everybody, and welcome to part 5 of my pantry organization series. Today we're going to be focusing on my soup shelf. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and put it in order, and then at the end of the video I will walk through and tell you what I did. So let's get started. I thought I'd try something different. Instead of playing music while I put my pantry in order, I thought, since I am a prepper and my content is about prepping, I wanted to talk to you about something more important, and that is prepping for eternity. As I've mentioned in previous videos of mine and on my community page, I plan to incorporate more of my Bible study lessons into my videos. So I was going to talk to you about my most recent one. So in my last Bible study message, I learned how this life is similar to a race, and our goal should be to cross the finish line, not to accept defeat, but to keep our eyes on the prize, which is Jesus. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. That was Hebrews 12, verse 3. Jesus, who lived a humble, obedient life, suffered greatly, even though he never sinned. He took on the wrath of our sins so that we could also spend eternity in glory with him. So we should consider our hardships a temporary setback that is preparing us for something greater. God's discipline of his children should not be mistaken for punishment. His son Jesus took on our punishment. Jesus didn't quit the race, and we shouldn't either. Here are steps to stay in the race. Unload heavy burdens that hinders, and that includes distractions, sin, worry. We're told to put off the old self. Many people who train do so while wearing weights, but when it's time to race, they take them off and lighten their load. And that is a summation of Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22. Second, we're supposed to train hard, run like there is just one prize and you're going to get it. Don't try to cheat or do anything to get disqualified. And this is a summary of 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 24 to 27. Third, we're to look to Jesus, not to ourselves. He is our mentor, our life coach, and the prize. We can't win this race depending on ourselves to train properly. We need his guidance, we need him cheering us on along the way, and we need him greeting us at the finish line. And you can find more about that in Philippians chapter 3, verse 3. Paul had a great victory speech at the end of his race when he was about to win first prize. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing. And that can be found in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7 to 8. So don't give up. Paul had also said to the church in Philippi, I am certain that God, who began the good work within you, will continue his work until it is finally finished on the day when Christ Jesus returns. And that can be found in Philippians chapter 1, verse 6. I have a shelf on my soup shelf that is nothing but vegetarian soy textured protein, like this street taco here. We've got some that I've dehydrated. This is probably old by now. We don't have a date on here. I don't even remember when I did this, so I'm going to go ahead and toss it. The soy textured protein crumbles does not need to be on the shelf with the soup, so for the time being I'm going to put it in these drawers. They are empty anyway. This is just temporary. By clearing off a shelf of all the vegetarian soy crumbles and vegetable protein, I'm going to be able to spread stuff out so I can see it a lot easier. Tofu, snacks, jerky right here. I've got about 4 more of these tofus. I don't even know if they're good anymore, but I will check on that, and if they're not good, I'm going to toss them. If they are, I'll find another place to put them, but I want the shelf to be nothing but soup. In case you're wondering what a soy crumble is, any recipe that calls for ground beef that's kind of crumbled up, you can buy it in the freezer section of your grocery store where they sell the Gardein and all the vegan and vegetarian frozen foods. And I don't know if you know this, but bacon bits are textured soy protein too. They're not real meat unless you see one that says it's real bacon. So I have another place in my cabinet where I put these bacon bits. And because the soy crumbles that we dehydrated ourselves, we did not write a date on it. And it was when we were new to using a dehydrator. So who knows if we even did it the right way. I'm just not going to chance it. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these two. Hello, this is Editing Kelly here, and I am just watching this playback going, what the heck am I even saying? It's like a giant tossed word salad. If something I'm saying doesn't make sense, please forgive me. Ask me if you have any questions. I was not feeling very good on this day. We just finished canning a bunch of smoked turkey broth, so I'm going to find some room for that on the shelf now. I'm paranoid about my mason jars tipping over and shattering, so Corey is taking some cardboard to make me a nice stable place to put my jars. On the second row of jars, I left a space in between because a couple of those jars was from a rotisserie chicken we did a few weeks ago. Now here I go with my shelf shuffling. This will be one of many times where I scoot things around trying to get it where I can look and see everything. I'm not so concerned about seeing those mason jars in the back. I know that they're there, but I'm kind of trying to spread everything out where at a glance I don't have to go on a wild goose chase looking for something. It's all right in front of me. All these boxes of these single serving soups are just temporary. I have used a lot of my baskets and bins in my pantry. I need to go out and get some more. So for the time being, these have to stay in their boxes. There's a couple of things that I need to put somewhere else in the pantry. The chili, I have decided, goes with the meat. I think one time I had it over here with soup. I thought it was vegetable soup, but it's a vegetable recipe mix. So I have a different place right above my head where I put all the mixes. And I might give the Frontier soup mix away. This is a red pepper corn chowder mix. We didn't absolutely love it. I also found this French onion soup mix from the Amish market that my husband went to in Virginia. And because they don't put a lot of preservatives in their foods, I think this might be something that we need to use somewhat quickly. I know it's been on my shelf at least a year, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in the kitchen. Okay, everybody, I think I'm finally finished. I am already sitting on the ground because I just finished this bottom row. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the bottom. I didn't do much with the bottom shelf, to be honest. This consists of my soup bases, most of my cream of whatever, cream of mushroom, onion, cheddar, we've got asparagus, we've got cream of jalapeno, tomato. These are all soups that I don't really eat on their own, but I use these in a casserole. On the second row from the bottom is just all other soups that we eat on our own, and some of them are like Dinty Moore beef stews, which I'm going to have to look in my meat pantry because I think I also have some Dinty Moores in there. We've got our chicken noodle soups, Italian style wedding, beef taco, pub style chicken pot pie. The third shelf is going to be all of my powdered soup mixes. They're usually in individual envelopes, and you just add boiling water and you're ready to go. You got a single serving of soup. We also have some of these vacuum sealed Knorr soups, and then I have all of my favorite Asian soups, corn, potato, and onion. These are delicious. We have the trusted Lipton cup of soups. These are just more of our individual packets of Asian soup, like what I just showed you. So that was an assortment pack. So again, we've got the corn, the onion, and the potato. On the next row up, we have pouches of soups, and cartons of soups. Probably can't see it in the back, but we also have a bunch of turkey broth and chicken broth that we canned. But my family is very fond of these Asian soups, the cream of asparagus, cream of corn. In the back, we have some additional ones, crab and corn. We have some of this portobello mushroom from Trader Joe's, sweet and smoky chicken noodle soup, beef fajita soup, a poblano pepper and corn chowder, pouch of cheesy chicken enchilada, corn poblano. It's just a variety of different pouches of soups. So we got the lentil soups, some Japanese clear broth, miso soup. It looks like a tomato base, sesame soy. The second row from the top, we have a lot of our Bear Creeks. We've got the chili, which I know that's not really a soup, but Bear Creek mostly is known for their soup, although we have their pasta on a different shelf. But for now, I'm keeping the chili here, as well as the Amy's vegetarian chili. We've got the creamy wild rice. And then this one, I think, just has a variety. We've got clam chowder, navy bean, gumbo. These are some of the ones that are kind of harder to find in your store. We had to order them online. Then we have these grab-and-go soups. These are mostly roasted red pepper and tomato, as well as chicken and stars and tomato soups that you just pop in the microwave. And then on this top shelf, we have more of our Bear Creeks. We've got chicken noodle, cheddar broccoli, split pea, and creamy potato. We also have some Augustin Farms up at the very top in the back where I don't really need to reach it. If you've watched any of my pantry organization series, part 1 through 4, I always put the Augustin Farms on the bottom because it has the longest shelf life and I don't need to bend down and get on my knees to get it. This shelf is kind of tall and wide, so it was easier for me to just put it back there because I can't really reach back here very easily anyway without getting out a stool. Each shelf has Augustin Farms products that pertain to whatever it is on that shelf. So this is my soup shelf. We've got vegetable stew, cheesy broccoli soup. When I was keeping the vegetarian things on this shelf, I had this vegetarian chili mix, more soy crumbles, more vegetable stew, corn chowder mix, and that other one over there is another cheesy broccoli. So here is the end result of my soup shelf. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it.